What the fuck do you want?
Hello and welcome back to What the Fuck Do You Want? Been a little while. And I must apologise, dear listener, for that unscheduled sabbatical. But when I hear the words come back and hard, I can only think of one person. Sambone Solo.
And hello.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Little insider knowledge here. Normally when somebody appears on the show, they get awarded a piss yellow name to use on the Discord. You've already got this, Sandbone. What's going on here?
It's because I'm special. I just deserved a piss yellow name. Or it might have been because somebody set up a kind of watch-along that nobody could join unless they had a piss yellow name. Just saying.
Yeah, fucking mag. Who's also got a special coloured name, I don't know.
Which relates nicely to the topic of today, in fact.
Well, we'll not jump the gun just yet, which
No.
is also related to the topic today. Sandbone. How would people know your lovely face? Or the term going full Sandbone?
Well, only from very niche
not
elements.
the come back hard bit, just the clean one, please.
We'll leave that one. No, that's...
Yes, please.
Yeah, you don't want to know about that. That's for a very niche audience.
That half-Irish slapping doesn't work in audio.
Bastard. People would know me from some very niche areas of the internet around a few Discord channels, and that's about it, because I keep myself in the darkness, behind the scenes, lurking.
Yes, if anybody's got a good memory for early episodes, they may remember references to the LEBs, the corrupt pixels. You're part of that clique.
Certainly am, yes, with all of those degenerates that hang around there and play games occasionally and
Perverts.
talk about things that aren't for general consumption.
I will get them all on eventually. It's only taken a few years.
Eventually. You've had most of them now.
Vic, I need him,
Oh.
which is the first time anybody's ever uttered that statement.
I don't know, I'm sure Tig's mentioned that a few times.
Special bond. Well, seeing as we've no pleasantries to go through, we'll get to the question. I can tell you're ready for it.
Oh, I am. I'm prepped. I'm reading.
Mr. Sandbone Solo. What the fuck do you want?
I want to be able to educate the galaxy on the absolute benefits of democracy through the generous application of such liberating and freedom-inducing weapons as a 380mm orbital barrage or a 500kg bomb to the face. And thankfully, Arrowhead Game Studios heard my plea. That's right, punk. I want to talk about Helldivers II.
Oh, my. What is a Helldivers 2?
Well, one cannot simply explain what Helldivers 2 is in a 30-minute podcast, punk. However, I will try through the medium of plagiarism. Helldivers 2 is a third-person squad-based shooter that sees the elite forces of Helldivers battling to win an intergalactic struggle to rid the galaxy of rising alien threats. From a third-person perspective, players use a variety of weapons, pistols, machine guns, flamethrowers, and stratagems, turrets, airstrikes, to shoot and kill alien threats. Basically, you and 3 squad mates jumping into an increasingly chaotic levels, depending on the difficulty, trying to achieve various objectives and get out with as many samples, as possible before either the timer or the number of times you can reinforce teammates run out.
Alright, that sounds like a cool time. Buddy, samples.
Samples are the lifeblood of Helldivers, punk. They are what you need to increase everything.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say this has been around the internet for a little bit ever since it released.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to a point, this game came out of nowhere for me, personally, because I'd played the first one, and played the first one quite a bit with friends, and it was always fun, but it always sat in that category of, that's a good laugh, it's a Friday night with a few beers and a few mates. Never really grabbed me. So I'd sort of let all the Helldivers 2 stuff kind of pass me by, just thinking, oh, it's more Helldivers.
Yeah.
Without realising they'd gone to the whole sort of third-person shooter perspective, everything that they've changed along with the game, and it's just a completely different thing.
So yeah, you've played the original, somewhat fond memories of it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the original was more, well, it was kind of isometric type layout. It was, but similar thing, it was big guns, it was lots of chaos, but I don't know. It just never got its claws into me at all.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed it. I think the fact I played it, the guys I was playing it with, they played a lot of it, so I never really felt like I was sort of on top of the game as such. But it was the same kind of theme. It was, it was 3 races that you're fighting against. It was liberating the galaxy. It was all the same principles, just with a completely different set of game mechanics.
Your life for Super Earth?
Oh, my life for Super Earth. That is, I would give everything for Super Earth. There is nothing I would not do for Super Earth.
So, yeah, it seems to have taken all the themes because I haven't played Helldivers 1, but attention caught by mostly the trailers before Helldivers 2 actually released.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a few of the trailers, and yeah, it was, I don't know, it got my attention, but it wasn't even a day one purchase when it came out. I just saw good things about it and then thought, yeah, right, let's pick this up, let's see what it's like. And
I think it's when I seen everybody on the Steam list playing it, it's like, oh, might have to look at this.
Yeah. I had a look on my Steam list before and it popped up and it was like, of all the games I've got, you see that this so many of your friends have got this game. It's like 28 of my friends on Steam. I've never seen that kind of number for a single game.
Oh, especially when it started, everybody was on it.
Oh, yeah.
Tailed off a little bit, but it'll do that until it updates.
Well, just from that intro, just from loading the game, watching the intro video, and just from moment one, I pissed myself watching that intro video. Just the whole bit where the family comes in, the cheesiness of it all, it's just got everything. I think I said when we were playing it with Gadget and people like that, it's obviously got loads of Starship Troopers vibes, but it's got that underlying sort of Team America type thing going on, which I love, absolutely love it. It's just everything is tongue-in-cheek.
When it came out, one of the favourite things to edit it with was like Sap Brannigan from Futurama.
Yes,
yeah. Fit up so perfectly.
It did. It really did. All the stuff on, we don't know who they are, but they called you guys jerks.
They said all Helldivers are virgins. What are you going to do about it?
Well, what we're going to do is drop 500-kilogram bombs on their faces.
I suppose, yeah, we better talk about the game itself, whereas the humour of the trailer's fantastic. It's not the reason people play this.
No, true. I guess when you look at this from a gameplay mechanic, from a game perspective, it's quite simple for me. It's got the shooting mechanics are excellent. The structure of the game itself is obviously really simple. You've got a number of planets, all of which are slight variations on a theme, which you're dropping into to carry out a objective of some description, from a 12-minute blast around and kill as much stuff as you can to a 40-minute go and activate 17 different activities and pick up loads of samples and get out of there, all while just having chaos and shooting and fun all the way along. The principle and the mechanics and the gameplay, relatively repetitive. It's the variation in when you never know what's going to happen the minute you land, because you don't know where you're landing, you don't know what you're landing on, you don't know what's going to be around you. Yeah,
whether it's terrain or enemy, you don't know until your pod hits the ground.
Yeah, I mean, you can do your best on that. I guess we better explain. You've got the hub, which is the ship, where you pick your missions and pick your quests from, and which planets you want to go on and what you want to do.
Yeah, so you can play in a group of 4, and all 4 of you, if you group up, will be on board this ship where you can emote and hug each other or give each other abuse before you start, which is traditional.
Absolutely. Or play rock, paper, scissors and fall out of the ship, because there's absolutely no bugs in this game whatsoever.
Not a single one, no.
Apart from the Terminids that we're going to kill. That's the key.
I love murder and stuff.
Oh, it's amazing. It really is.
When you're on this ship, mission has been chosen. You then make your way to the Hell Pod, and this is where the customization comes in. Simplicity is normally an insult when you talk about games. Not so here. What do you get? 4 slots?
Yeah, you get 4 slots plus a modifier, don't you?
You choose the weapons you go down with. You have your primary and secondary weapons, which you will always have. But if you want to have fun, and let's face it, we all want to have fun, rocket launchers, flamethrowers, the quasar cannon.
Oh, the quasar cannon. The auto cannon. We cannot not mention the auto cannon.
Backpacks, shields, or rovers that do a bit of shooting for you if your aim isn't great or you're incredibly drunk, Couchy. You can also pick sentries, which also do a bit of shooting for you if your aim isn't that great.
Yes, and shooting at you if you're stood in the wrong place, and blowing you across the map if you stood behind them. Sentries do lots of damage to everything they can get.
Everything. They don't care what's in their path. I respect them for that. And yes, I missed out one thing you can pick. What would that be, Sandbone?
That would be the orbitals.
Administering freedom.
The fucking orbitals. If you've seen footage of this game on any meme, it's normally the 500 kg.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the orbitals make this game, just the variation in them, the randomness of them. I mean, that 380mm barrage, the fact you throw that in and you've got no idea where those rockets are going to land.
So when you call in a strike, traditionally the ones you have, when you type in, I suppose we didn't even mention, if you hold down the left bumper, you have to input on the D-pad or whatever input device you have.
Did you say left bumper?
Left
did
bumper.
You say controller?
I did.
What is this? What is this? What is this mystery of playing on a console?
People who listen to podcasts have money, so they have consoles. They're not PC peasants.
Oh, we stop the podcast right now. That's it.
Sick burn.
Sick burn. Yeah, true.
Those
yes.
rich people that use Game Pass.
It's dead service. Sorry, no, wrong podcast. We won't go there.
Next month.
Yeah.
So with the inputs, because I was going to forget to mention this, but that is probably the early thing that makes it so hectic. You hold down a button, you need to input a command, and your equipment will drop in.
Yep.
And if you're trying to do this while something is chewing the arse end of your character, it gets very hectic. You get very sweary. It's quite funny.
Absolutely. Yeah, running along trying to fight an enemy, especially on the landings, on the on the harder difficulties, you drop in, there's chaos around you. You don't even get a chance to drop in your main weapon.
No.
And move along from there. You're just running around. And then when they then take that same mechanic and implement that into the missions that you're trying to accomplish, like trying to drop a hell bomb in or trying to bring in a mining, whatever they're called, the mining towers, anything like that. And just in the middle of all the chaos, you're trying to do these random key combinations to bring in everything that you really need in order to accomplish the mission. It just causes absolute panic.
Of course, you even run the chance of, if you're not paying attention, the equipment could drop in your head and kill you.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
This game loves killing you.
Yeah. I did actually make some notes in preparation for this, and some of my highlights were being murdered in the face, teammates landing on you, weapons landing on you, pretty much anything landing on you. There's many ways of things landing on you that you can die in
It's
this
got
game.
a fine selection of murder. But we were talking about the orbitals, and yes, you're also required to put input in to summon this from the Eagle One, the fantastic Eagle One.
Eagle One. The
never
community,
misses.
No. The community have a real passion for Eagle One as well.
They've saved the day more than any other character.
I guess that we've kind of not skipped over it, we've just not got to it yet, but the community element of this as well has been amazing. The way sort of the Reddit community and all that kind of stuff have taken to
I've seen a bit of role playing before in my time, as a sex worker, but nothing quite on the scale of this.
No, that some of the threads on Reddit and the way that people are taking this, especially when so there's the major orders that come out, which are obviously community driven activities. You have your standard sort of dailies as you get in these kind of games to get yourself some credits for leveling your weapons or buying weapons. But then there's the community ones, which are much, much bigger. I mean, they kill 2 billion Terminids, which they gave the community 5 days to do, and it took them less than 24 hours to actually achieve.
Bugs were good at it.
Yeah. On a game of this scale, you look at your Warcrafts, your Eves, your places like that, those big MMOs that really pull communities together. You kind of expect it from them, but from a game of this sort of size, to pull a community and get everyone sort of talking about achieving things as a community within this level is something else. It really is good.
Because it does feel like you're all in it together, and I suppose that's the feel they are going for.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have we sort of, we've been obviously playing this quite a bit, and how many times have we logged off at 11:30, 12 o'clock and gone, right, we'll see what the Americans can do overnight, and then see where we are the next day. And it's that whole element to it as well, around the way they're progressing the storyline. And it's, again, it's like you said, they use that word simple, but not as an insult.
And I like it too, because a lot of games of this ilk, I mean, you can play it a lot at the start, but if you fall off or something else comes out, or you get taken out of the stratosphere for a little while, you can't really go back to it.
No.
You miss equipment, you miss missions, the story mightn't have context, and you're, bollocks. Not really a problem here.
No.
Because you get better as a player, but there's no RPG elements to this. You don't upgrade your health. You might unlock items, equipment, but that doesn't really change how you play.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You could start a new character tomorrow and I could drop you a Quasar.
Yeah.
It won't be long to get you up.
We've done that as well with new players coming in. They're saying, we're not your level. We can't, we're not necessarily playing where you're at. Doesn't matter.
Hop in. It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get blown up. We call you back in. You get blown up again. We laugh. It's great.
Yeah, you blow us up, everyone laughs again.
Here's an autocannon.
Yeah, have this massive weapon, by the way, don't shoot everyone. But
It's the only way to learn.
it is, yeah. The only way you can possibly learn is to kill your teammates.
I love how off topic we've got already. I was trying to explain the orbitals.
God, yes.
Yes. So orbital strikes, you put in the input, you throw it, you get a big red light, and that big light instills an incredible amount of fear if you're looking at it.
Yeah.
If that appears beside you, you may piss yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the orbitals are the best example of this. You obviously, everything, as you said before, everything drops in from your ships in space. But the orbitals, that red laser, and you see it, and you've no idea what somebody's dropped in initially. So you don't know if it's going to be a 500 kilogram bomb that's just going to kill everything within an area. You don't know if it's going to be a laser beam that might miss you initially, but will almost be guaranteed to find you at some point and burn you to death.
Napalm, smoke, poison.
Yeah, exactly. And it's that mechanism of, comes down to the panic element we were talking about before as well. You know there's teammates there, but you also know there's a shitload of enemies. So it's just something's going in.
Does your life outweigh the enemies?
Yeah.
He's worth the sacrifice. We'll bring him back in.
Yeah.
But yes, anybody that uses that 380, bastards. Absolute bastards.
We know a very particular bastard that uses that one.
Who uses that one?
It might have been Mag. It might have been
That
Mag.
cunt.
The as the Discord says, the friendly fire unit.
Friendly Fire Maguire.
Freedom never sleeps!
But it is, I mean, it is exactly that. It's, you're going to throw something in because you may kill literally all your squad, including yourself. But the combat's that frantic. There's so much going on. It is just, it becomes a necessity at some point just to go, yeah, we're all going to die, but we need to.
I have noticed in higher difficulties, it happens more and more. It's almost like the AI know you've primed to throw it, and they will shoot you, so you drop it at your feet.
Yeah.
And normally your teammates are right beside you, which is always nice.
Yeah, I've noticed once you get up to sort of because obviously there's the multiple difficulty levels right down from, what is it? The trivial is the easiest one, isn't it? Right up to level 9, which is Helldive.
Yeah.
But I think anything from kind of 7 onwards, there really does seem to be a trend of you're calling in a big stratagem, you will get shot, which means you'll have the stratagem calling in your hand, or a grenade, and you'll just fall over and drop it at your own feet. So death is inevitable.
It's around every corner. You just learn to accept it.
Yeah.
There's always more Helldivers.
I mean, it comes back down to the game design again, though. It's obviously been designed with that in mind. Friendly fire was obviously a big part of this from the start.
Well, friendly fire's fucking hilarious. Even
it is.
When it's you that dies, it's still brilliant. When I unlocked that fucking shotgun breaker,
the flame one.
Yeah. Everybody in the team had to learn to stop tuck and roll that week. It was...
Injury? What injury?
That's, I mean, the stop, drop and roll, tuck and roll thing, that's just those little bits of mechanics they've put in as well. So if you're on fire, you dive. If you dive, you're not on fire anymore. If you don't dive, you're going to burn to death very, very quickly.
Very quickly.
You just get into that habit of, oh shit, I'm on fire. I just need to dive. Dive, heal, I'm fine. Shit, I'm on fire again. Dive, heal, I'm fine.
And it is, as you're playing it, you can hear people being set on fire. You can hear their characters screaming from away. It should be horrifying, but it tickles me endlessly.
Oh, it really does. And again, I know I keep saying it, but the whole thing is it's a combination of really subtle little mechanics, audio cues, gameplay tweaks. There's not one huge thing that you can put your name on and go, put a number on and go, right, that's what makes the game, because it's not. It's the combination of everything. And the little audio cues of people screaming when they're on fire. You jump onto a turret or you unload a full clip on the machine gun. And as soon as you get to like 80% of the clip unloaded, your character just starts screaming, liberty!
Just the manacle laughing.
And just the way they've stitched it all together. I feel like I'm on my soapbox about this game very much, but...
It is nice to have something come out that just grabs you completely.
Yeah, and it's just, for me, I mean, I think I'm about 120 hours deep now on this. So it's not a ridiculous amount, but for a game of this type that on paper is so repetitive, is so
and given the landscape at the moment, it's not as if there's a shortage of games to play.
No.
Something has to stand up and be different to actually be noticed now.
Yeah, and this is really, I know I'm not the only one, obviously, but it's really got its claws into me. It's just it's just fun. You can it's like a 1980s action movie. For people who watch films, it's one of them that you just want to put on and you go, I've had a long day. I don't really want to think about anything, but I want to watch something. I'm going to stick on Commando, or I'm going to watch an Expendables movie for the new ones, or something like that. It's that kind of mentality of, I'm not going to have to think too hard here. I'm just going to have fun, and what happens, happens. And to get that so sweetly within a game like this.
Even as we play as part of the group, every time you kit up, you've picked your place on the map, and the hell pods are dropping down to the planet. And just the music sting as everybody's either joining in, or really the game's just loading up the map.
Yeah.
You know, it should be annoyance. Why can't we? We've got powerful SSDs. What's this loading? What is this? The 90s?
I know.
But I have never once sat through that screen going, fuck, I wish I could skip this.
No, me neither. The only bit that kind of, and it is a very, very mild irritation around that, is the ending mission screens. That the speed at which it goes through the sequence of just telling you all your achievements and telling you how many samples you extracted with and all that. It'd be nice if there was a way of that just being a little bit quicker.
We're kind of heading to the tail end of the episode now, so I just wanted to mention the currencies, because there was a bit of a stink about this when it released. It has been aired out, thankfully. So for every mission you complete, you get what's called requisition slips.
Requisition slips.
Oh, yes.
Requisition slips, they are, yeah.
So they're used to buy your items, your equipment.
Yeah.
If you're anything like us, you've got a full bank of them now that they're not getting used.
Nope.
After that, you've got the medals.
Yeah, you've got the medals that allow you to buy weapons. So I guess you've got it's probably worth explaining the structure, isn't it? So you've got the kind of in-game sort of leveling type activities around your stratagems, which are, as we said before, the orbitals to drop in, the weapons that you can drop in, etc. You've got the ship upgrades, which then augment the stratagems.
Samples.
And you've got and then you've got the war bonds, which are basically like the battle pass type elements to the whole thing. And battle pass, again, like, has not really been done in any other game, because you can almost 100% fund the war bonds from the in-game currency as well.
Yeah,
which is quite nice.
Currently sitting with enough super credits to buy the next one whenever that releases. They're normally 1,000 super credits.
I think so, yeah.
Just got them from bombing around the map and keeping an eye open.
So they've done a really good, and then you've got the different ways of leveling. You've got your requisition slips, which you pick up in the maps and get as rewards for buying your stratagems and unlocking those.
Yeah.
You've then got the samples that you collect as you're running around the maps, which different samples you can get from different difficulty levels. So that allows you to upgrade different stratagems and different ship elements. And then you've got the medals, which are what are used to buy the items from the war bonds. So you unlock the war bonds with the super credits, which are the in-game currency that you can actually buy with real-world money but don't actually need to. And then once you've unlocked the war bond or the battle pass, you then unlock everything within that from the in-game medals that you buy. So that's for your weapons, your armor, your all that kind of stuff. So even that element for me, they've implemented really well, because you can spend money if you want to, but you don't actually have to.
Oh no, if you have the time to play it, I mean, I doubt we'll be putting 100 hours into it into the future. Well, maybe you will.
I don't know. I can see it being on sort of my playlist for a long time, but I am getting to the point now where, and you can see it with they've got to a point now where the war bonds, the updates, the releases, they're starting to get into a nice rhythm and a nice routine with them now. So it's good for a drop in a game, but it's not got that kind of initial excitement that there was when it first launched. I think it'll just sort of steady out now.
Yeah, I've noticed I don't even have the same number of randoms jumping in whenever you do a mission now. It's just, but not the pay-to-win nightmare that was advertised as when it launched, because
God, no, nothing like
slow news week.
I'm just looking now. It's SteamDB. It's still, so there's 159,000 players online on SteamDB at the minute. So, and it was when it peaked, it was sort of like high 200s, nearly 300,000.
Yeah, what was the cap they raised it to? 450?
They went to 450, and then I think they went to 700 after that.
Did it go up after that?
I think so, yeah.
Because I remember that was how you spotted the platform divide. Thank you, Steam.
Platform divide, you say?
Platform divide.
Negative 20,000 players playing on PlayStation, according to the official figures.
Sorry. They bought it. They just didn't play it.
I've gone down that route. I'll stop. I'm stopping. I'm not doing it.
Will we get to what the fuck do you want? What would you like to see happen with this game in the future? What would keep you hooked?
So I think there's a few things. I think obviously there was another race that existed in the first game, And I think when you look at that overview map, they've obviously left it quite open with regards to the areas and the kind of directions of the galaxy. So I think more sort of races, there's an opportunity for more enemies. The obvious one, just keeping that pace of stratagems and weapons and things. You know, the current major order is it's going to allow the community to unlock one of two new stratagems, whether it's anti-tank mines or I can't remember what the other one is.
This is the bit of the show that's going to date everything. By the time it comes out, this will all be resolved and we're arseholes.
Yeah, absolutely. We might be all right if you catch it early enough. But so yeah, I think keeping that pace of weapons, but I'd like to see some more stupid weapons. You know, there was a lot of, when the mech first dropped in, there was a lot of excitement about it. It was just the fact they made it so squishy that was a problem.
Yeah, it was made out of like paper mache.
Yeah, he literally sneezed and the thing exploded.
But they even had a great way where everybody, what was it, free for a day?
Yeah, everyone could get the mechs for a day, which broke the servers completely.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, there were too many people calling in mechs and the servers couldn't handle it. So I think the kind of churn of weapons will be nice to see go in. But I think seeing some really like big daft weapons, you know, like something like a mini tactical nuke or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something really stupid. And then for me, sort of like world bosses kind of thing. You know, if there was sort of, if you think that sort of Diablo for world boss type thing where it's a community.
Oh, like a Pokemon Go raid.
Like a Pokemon Go raid, but more.
I just wanted to second you.
That's
you had a nice example as it was.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Diablo one because I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Loves Activision, this boy.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah. No, but that sort of world boss thing, I think it'd be good to, if they could get to that point where they've got big bosses that are almost a community or multi-squad target, that'd be quite cool as well. So I just think
I'd love, and it probably goes against the whole Helldiver thing, is I'd love a bit of customization to the armor. I'm a tacky fuck. I want like cyan spandex and a banana yellow cape. Everybody know that's me setting them on fire.
It'd be good. Yeah, I guess they could have a transmog system. Wouldn't be bad because I like some of the status effects that come with some of the armors, but I hate the look of some of the armors. But I've never, again, this is one game. Normally I'm quite anal about that kind of stuff and I'll make my character look really, but I just don't give a shit in this. I'm just going to end up covered in fluid and blood. And
yeah, I think that came in with an update. If you survive an entire match for long enough, you return to your ship just covered in gunk and ooze. And the longer you survive, the more coated you are.
Yeah, and it stays with you when you're back on the ship as well. As you go into the next hellpod to drop again, you've still got all the shit all over you and you're covered in it.
One that annoyed me when it released, because it wasn't great when it started, because the cross-play, still hit and miss at times. It had no single-player campaign business.
Yeah.
And I think that let it down.
Yeah.
Not that I want a full story. It's just if you could do a few missions at different difficulties, just when you couldn't get online,
just to run through. Yeah, that'd be, you're right, especially at the beginning when the servers were having issues. It would have been really nice to kind of be able to drop in. The cross-play is something I've kind of put in my notes here around. It's better. I mean, when we first did it, we couldn't add each other at all as cross between PC and PlayStation as cross-play. Then we managed to add each other.
When you could add people, you couldn't see their name.
Yeah. So then we had the blank name issue, and now it's almost there, but we still get those dropouts. Yeah. And it seems to be at least once per match, which is quite annoying. And it seems to be worse if it's PC, if you're hosting, doesn't it? So if it's hosting on PlayStation and I drop out on PC, it's much more difficult for me to reconnect than if it's the other way around.
This is the only reason I don't want it to come to Xbox. I don't think they'd be able to manage it.
Yeah, maybe not actually. Yeah,
but I'd love
until
that.
They fix that.
The day that they announced that the third part of the map has opened up, it's the flood from Halo.
Oh God! And then the Warthogs are put a drop in.
Yep.
The Warthog stratagem. Oh, that'd be amazing. That's I mean, that's the final point on my sort of things that I'd like to see. Vehicles, I think, would be amazing. I know there were a few videos floating around on Reddit and Twitter early doors, and I'm sure it was just mock-ups that people had done of vehicles dropping in.
But even Arrowhead with the flying bugs.
Oh God,
no, these are lies.
Yeah. We've not mentioned. There's so much to talk about with this, but we've not mentioned that element either, with the way that Arrowhead and the Twitter feed. You know, they've been very much feeding into the kind of community story. They putting propaganda out there.
The game doesn't have bugs. Anybody that reports bugs is an act of treason.
Oh, the amount of things that you can be done for treason for is amazing. Anything apart from just going in and killing is treason.
Well, sadly, we have run time. Is there anything you want to touch on before we wrap this up and probably get back to playing the fucking game?
Yeah, I will stop there. I could talk for probably another 30 minutes on this, but I think it's just been an absolute surprise drop out of nowhere for me that has been so much fun, and I can see me putting many more hours into in the future.
Well, Sandbone, it has been an absolute delight, and I believe you have nothing to plug.
No, I plug nothing. I am just here for the enjoyment and the lulls.
Until next time, get fucked!